All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is Timothy Lee Grant. We are going through on this project where we are trying to create a overall project using microservice architecture. I was able to kind of prove out the back end, which is consume resource and produce resource. So we're able to prove out, okay, cool. Consumer resource and producer resource is working. It's interacting with the database. In my last video, like 2 seconds ago, I just stopped the video and started this video. In the last video, I was able to prove that, okay, cool. The quantity, we're able to manipulate that up and down using our endpoints for the consume resource, and I also did the produce resource, so we're able to do it on both sides. Now what we need to do is go into the front end and investigate that and try to tie everything together, back end and front end. So let's go through that, and I'm going to close out all of these other things, and we're looking at front end. Okay, so now front end, I need routes, and my routes need to be for, I need to do what? I need to render a home page to the user. Okay, so right now, let me get out of this. Where am I? I am in backend project, so I need to get into my front end service. Okay, so now should be able to run it. Eureka failed. Is it? So it wasn't able to register itself with Eureka, which makes sense because I didn't even start Eureka yet. I'm just trying to see if I can hit the endpoints. So let's come here and see if it says what IP address it's running on. So, or localhost and then 3000. So let's go there. I think it's actually this one, right? This is going to fail because I don't have, this actually routes to my producer resource. So this is going to fail. Yeah. But actually that proves that my front end actually is working, because if I go here and go to hello, it says failed to reach producer if this fails, which it should, because I didn't register anything with Eureka, and my producer resource isn't even running either. So both cases it would have failed. So we're kind of good right now. Okay, so what do we want to do? We need an actual user interface. So I want something which is like homepage or something. Okay, so I want to get router.get and the homepage. Okay, should be like this. So I do have technically a homepage like that, right? Index, awesome. And console log, that should have logged it right there, which it did. And then index, where is my index? Should be in views, index here. Okay, so now we need to create another EJS, and I'm just going to call it homepage. Okay. Come in here, and I'm going to say home page.ejs. Now come in here and ask it to do the boilerplate stuff. So give me a basic EJS file that allows a user to input data and triggers functionality based on when the user submits. Okay. So we're going to obviously need to go and try to change this. Okay, I don't need that. I just need this right now. Okay. So I'm gonna go like this, home page, and then I want this instead to do home page, okay? And then after I do that, do I need to register this home page? Let's see. Not this one, but this one. Okay. Home page. Okay. Well, that's response. Not send. Response dot render. Right? Home page here. And no, I have not set up NodeMon yet, obviously. Okay, well, that's something. What's up? Okay. Message not defined for, oh, okay, what's happening? Add a new supply, okay? Before I do that, I should... Where am I here? Okay. Consumer resource. Let me go up one. Realized I have not... Get status again. Get commit. Realized I needed to push some of the stuff. So I'm going to say verified functionality of consumer resource microservice and producer resource microservice. Also added JUnit unit test to one endpoint. Need to expand JUnit tests to all others in the future. Okay. Okay, push that out. Good. Okay, so now we're gonna go back and keep troubleshooting this. Okay, so quantity submit supply. Okay. Message is not defined. So I did not pass in a message. I think that's what it's saying. If message. Let me just come in here and do this here, and then like this, and I'm just gonna say hello. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, where am I? Front-end service, and I want to run this one, and I want to come here and see if, there we go. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. Cool. That's awesome. Okay. So now I want to actually come in here and in my home page, okay? My home page, I want to so I perform an action, I do submit supply. It's a post request. Supply name, label, okay. Input type is text, ID is name, okay. Quantity here. So now what I need to do is integrate this with the Eureka server. Okay. So now, actually, what I want to do is, what I want to do is have a function that is triggered when the user clicks submit. I then want to have the function deal with sending the items that the user inputted to the correct microservice through the Eureka discovery server. Okay. While that's doing its thinking, I'm going to take another sip of coffee. Okay. So what we want to do is something like this, where we have our script, okay, that makes sense. And we have, okay, so script goes above. And now this one is form on submit here. Okay, I think this is what I am looking for. So let me come here. I'm going to change this from home page. I am going to change the name. So it's going to be homepage1.ejs. And now I'm going to create another one, which is just homepage. EJS, okay. And paste all of this in here, okay. Now I should be able to do the exact same thing, run this, and then come in here. Hopefully everything is good. Okay, awesome. So now submit supply on request, and I have this event. Okay. Both of these are required. Type submit, okay. And that just triggers the event. And then from up here, I get the event. So I get the name and save it as name. Get the quantity, save it as quantity. So I'm just doing the DOM, document object model, and I'm getting the element by its ID, which is quantity, and then I'm getting that actual value. So like whatever, 13. Okay, const response. Okay, so I am fetching okay, that's going to be a question, like why fetch? Why not post or something like that? So I've actually never used a fetch before. What would be, why are we doing a fetch? Okay, so that's a question we need to look into. Okay. But what I'm thinking is, why do I have all of my functions here? Why not have it in my one of these, right? Producer service. Service caller. I think this is the one that I used last time and was working. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to say is here is one of my files in the front-end microservice for the EJS that you just wrote for me. Would it be possible to maybe what I need to do is from this one I need to call the other function, like call this get service or call service maybe. I don't know. To utilize this file that is already working to communicate with my backend. Okay, so it says that yes, you can. So submit supply. I'm not seeing how they're actually being tied together. So form action sends a post request to this. Okay. So I'm not right now I'm not seeing how the this EJS file, I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm not seeing how this EJS file would have any connection to this service caller because I'm not importing anything. Body parser, express, okay. So this is the main app. Not this one. This is app.js. This is the main one, okay. Oh, this is the, okay. Here we go. Okay, no wonder I was so confused. I was like, well, I don't think it actually addresses what I just said, but Copilot, every time you send it a question, it bounces all over the place. So I was looking at the wrong one. No wonder I was so confused. I was like, well, I don't think this would work. Okay, so let's read it together and see what's up. Absolutely, and you're already halfway there. The file using Axios to send post requests to your backend microservice. You can absolutely reuse this logic to handle. Okay. Let's walk through how to wire it all together. So your form submission triggers the add item. Okay. So add item is what? Is where? Not index.js, not this one. It is here. This one? Where does it see add item? Okay. So what I have here, okay, yeah. Exports dot add item async item. Do I have that? I don't think I don't think I have that, but okay. How to use this in your front-end service. Wait, so front end, does it mean that this is actually on the client, right? So I don't have access to. So do I actually need to hit this endpoint myself? Because, wait. So call service. I need to figure out. I think I see where I'm messing up. I think I'm very. I am fundamentally misunderstanding what's going on. So I think what's going on, and I need to talk myself through this and figure out if this is actually the case. I think what's happening is EJS is actually living in the browser. So it doesn't have access to this call service function. And so I was like, well, why can't I just call the function? That's what I want to do. I just want to call the function. And from my perspective, I'm looking at it, it's all in this. But I don't think that's accurate because this EJS doesn't have access to the rest of the stuff because it's living on the client. So number one, is my thinking correct? The EJS file is not allowed to call my call service function that is within the JS project because the EJS will actually be living in the client's browser and my other files will be living in the server. So my EJS files don't have access to those internal methods. Okay. I think, okay. Let's see if it is accurate. Yes, your thinking is correct. Okay. Okay. Rendered in the browser. So it can access HTML, CSS, and client-side JavaScript. Okay. This lives in Node.js and is server-side logic. I see. Okay. Now at least we understand what the problem is and we can make effective steps forward. Okay. Finished my coffee, now some water. Alright. How to bridge the gap. Users submit. Okay. So I just need to send a request. Yeah, so browser sends the post to an endpoint on the server. So I need to look for on my server where service or where call service actually gets evoked. Okay. I see. Awesome. Oh. Okay. So I will guess that it's somewhere in my routes. Here. Okay. Now I have this add. Okay, here's add. Await, add item, producer service here. And then I have add item. Actually, this might be the one that I'm looking for. Is it? What is it? Service caller. These are different. I can't remember which one I want to use. I can't even remember if I... Producer service, and I'm going to go into my routes. Login. log out, products. Hello, okay. This is the one that I was doing my test on. So hello does call service, okay. So now I want another one. And this one is going to be a post, right? Post. And I'm going to say that the API endpoint is to producer resource front end. Okay. And it's going to do the exact same thing. And we actually don't want it to go to this hello. We want it to go to a different endpoint. What endpoint do we want? Source, not test. Did it not add it? Whatever. We'll deal with that later. Java, and we want controllers. We want this one. We want to send it to what? Add supply. API supplies. Huh? API supplies, and we want. All right, so call service should do a post request, right? Is it going to be a post or a get? Let's go there and find out. So it does a get. Can I do something like this? Or I copy this and say post service, like this. I still use this function to get the URL, okay? And then I do a post, axios.post, okay? And then I export post service like this. I don't know if this is gonna work. I have no idea. So now I come into my index.js and I come here and I also do post service like this. Now what I want to do is, instead of call service, I want post service like that. Okay. And now from my front end, I want to hit this API endpoint. So I want localhost and then this one. So fetch, I don't know if I want to fetch. It's post, right? Index.js. let's just see what happens. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that, okay, we need to go into our Eureka server, so registry, and now I need to run maven w spring boot run, and then sometime in the near future I'm gonna go and create a script that actually runs everything from the top level, so I don't need to go in and do this every single time. So now I should have my Eureka server running, okay, and no instances, which makes sense. So now, who is this? This is Frontend. So I should be able to run this, and then I'm going to get Frontend. Okay, it's registered. Then who is here? This is just a generic backend, so I'm going to go into my producer resource and I'm going to run that. Okay, so maven w spring boot run. Okay, and now it should register itself with Eureka, so we should see another one down here, which we do. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to come in here, I want to refresh this page. Add supply is maybe cups, and let's add a quantity of 87, and then I'm going to press submit, and it's probably going to fail, but okay, let's see what happens. Okay. So who is this? This is the front-end service, okay. Okay. So it's failing. Error calling producer resource. Request failed with status, okay. Well, I don't think I'm not using this one. Service caller, doing this post, right? Error calling, I'm just gonna say, error message service, okay, so I think it's right here. I'm going to, do that, okay. Get out of this and then do that, and then just refresh this, okay, reload, yes. And now, like this, okay, and it should have that number there, okay. So we are hitting this one. Okay, so we're in this catch. Post. Base URL and the endpoint. So we are calling this function, so we know that we're doing that correctly. API supplies. Let me go to my producer and make sure, because last time we did API hello, okay, and now we want API supplies and a post mapping, right? Controller hit. I wonder if, where's my producer? Is this the producer one? It just says Java. No Java. Well, which one's which? One of them is my Okay, so this is doing something. Producer resource here. Okay, so this is producer resource. And I see that I'm getting something. Controller hit with. Not seeing that though. Okay, let me. When I press submit from my front end, I see messages in my producer microservice backend of this. But I am okay. But oops. Okay, whatever. Okay. So your front end is sending data as something like this, but your Spring Boot is expecting something like application JSON. So your post works smoothly. What's going wrong? Okay. So HTTP media type not supported. Okay. So it doesn't like the type of media that it's getting. Now, let me ask this. I need to understand what kind of data not this one, this one. I need to ask what kind of data this is expecting. It's getting a request body, right? And what is that like actually trying to do? Send JSON from the front end, okay? Make sure Express can parse JSON. Okay. So I need to come into my app, make sure that I am able to app.js. Did I do JSON? Can it parse JSON? App.use. Okay. All right. And now I want to go into my service caller and I want to do a post to here. Oh yeah, I need to add the actual data. Yeah, that makes sense. Of course. I'm doing a post. A get doesn't need any data, but a post does. Okay. So I'm gonna have this and then a curly brackets here, okay? Name is going to be equal to what? Is going to be, where am I actually getting the data? I guess I didn't pass in the data, right? Yeah, I need to pass in all that data. Okay, so I need to go and fix that problem then. I wish I had some more coffee. So now I need to do what? I need to go into my index, which is like my routes. Okay, go into my routes, and I need to pass in a third parameter in here. So post service, and what do I need to actually do? I need request. Can I just pass in request, actually? What if I just did this? I don't know if this is gonna work. What is request? Like, I don't, okay. And then what if I just come in here, and do it actually very similar to this? Okay, no, request. Okay. Request dot body dot name. Okay. Quantity is request dot body dot quantity. Okay. And then so that closes out this one, and then I add another parameter, okay? So it closes out this one, and then I add another thing, which is this one here. Okay. So then I add another one here. Okay. So now I want to go to this one, get out of this, do this, see if it runs. Okay, we didn't get an immediate error. Oh, but I didn't pass that in, right? Like, I did index, and then I just, oh, I guess I did. It's right there. No, because my home page needs to stringify. I'm not getting no, it's not gonna work. I can just press it and see, but it's not gonna work. Okay, whatever. Ah? Okay, hold on. Let me come in here, and I'm gonna do a random thing. So tr df tardy. Wait, hold on. So tardy quantity is 92, okay, and then submit. Okay, I don't believe it. Tardy 92. Now I'm gonna go to here, refresh this. Okay, that kind of makes sense because that's consumer resource. Now we're in dark mode. Okay. I want to go into my producer, and I want to come in here and do supplies. Okay. And I want to do get. Localhost 3000. It's not actually 3000. I don't know which one it is. Was it 8082? Let's just look at the Palm file. Palm should have it. Not Palm. Resource application. It's from MongoDB. This one is the wrong one, right? No, that's MongoDB. No wonder. Okay, producer resource. Did I think it's just defaulting to a, oh, I should have added a, okay, this should have it, right? Producer resource, what port is it? Here, no? Okay. So this is the registry. That's not what I want. I want this one, okay? And then, okay, it's hitting that. It's hitting that. Hold on. What? Is it working? I just want to know what port you're on. Oh, I think I actually took notes on it. I don't need to look through all that. Tomcat 8080. Okay. Okay, let's see if we see that. There it is. Oh my gosh. We got it. It did work. It worked. Oh. Oh my goodness. There it is. Good. 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 Oh my goodness, okay. That. All right. So, I'm gonna, first thing first. Okay, terminal, new terminal. We come in here and we save our work. Okay, so git status, git add everything. Okay, git status, okay. Git commit, developed, how should I phrase it? Front end is now able to add items to the database from the client side EJS file. Next step is to add functionality to allow user to consume items from database. Okay. Git push origin main. Okay. Should be, there we go. Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break right now, and in the next video, I am going to take this, what we did just now, and expand it into the other API endpoint for the consumer resource. So we did it for this microservice. Now we need to do it for the other microservice, which is consumer resource right there. Okay, awesome. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to see how we go about doing the next step, subscribe to this channel. I would love to have you along in this journey. I hope you have a good rest of the day. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and I will see you guys very soon. Goodbye.